good morning, children. I'm back again as usual with English recorded class for y'all. This is Ma'am Anna, your English teacher. In the last two classes, we did learn a new chapter in grammar. So let's see what we will be learning today. Are you all ready? Let's get started. Wow, what a beautiful ship. Haven't you seen this somewhere? You have? Yes, children, you all guessed it right. This is the Titanic ship, which most of us would have heard about. Yeah? So before we start with today's class, I just want to give a glimpse of this Titanic ship. The history, of course. Now, this luxurious Titanic ship sank in the early hours of April 15th, 1912 off the coast of Newfoundland in North Atlantic after swiping an iceberg during its maiden voyage. Out of 2,240 passengers and crew on board, more than 1,500 people lost their lives in the disaster. It's very sad, isn't it, children? Okay, so now you all might be wondering, what is this Titanic ship going to do with today's class? Let's wait and watch. Today's content is as follows. We will start off with a new poem, which is The Convergence of the Twain, written by Thomas Hardy. We will also have a glimpse of Thomas Hardy's biography. Then, of course, we will look into the summary, then some vocabulary as well. Then comes my turn to ask you all questions. We will summarize all what we have learned. The last part, as usual, will be your assignment. So let's get started. Children, before I start the poem, let's have a glimpse of Thomas Hardy, who wrote the poem The Convergence of the Twain. And this is Thomas Hardy, who was born on 2nd June 1840 in Stinford, Dorset, England. Thomas Hardy's father, Thomas, worked as a stonemason and local builder. His mother, Jemima, was well-read and she educated Thomas until he went to his first school at Bockhampton at the age of 8. Thomas Hardy is perhaps most famous for his powerfully visual novels. An English novelist and poet of the naturalist movement, in several poems he displays elements of the previous Romantic and Enlightenment periods of literature, such as his fascination with the supernatural. While he primarily regarded himself as a poet who only wrote novels for financial support, he was much better known for his novels. Later, In Jan 11th, 1928, he was laid to rest in Dorchester, Dorset. This is a little about Thomas Hardy. Now, let's move on to the poem. Children, kindly turn to page number 102 in your literature book, and while I'm reading and reciting the poem for y'all, I want y'all to toss your fingers through and read with me while I'm reading and reciting. Alright? So let's start. The Convergence of the Twain by Thomas Hardy. Long ago, there was a terrible accident in the Atlantic Ocean. A ship called Titanic sank. Thousands of people died. There was no electronic signaling system at that time. Thomas Hardy sees the hand of fate in that accident. Read the poem and find out more about the accident. Let's start reciting the poem then. And as the smart ship grew in stature, grace and hue, in shadowy silent distance grew the iceberg too. Alien they seemed to be, no mortal eye could see the intimate welding of their later history, or sign that they were bent by paths coincident, on being in a twin half of one August event, till the spinner of the years said, now, and each one hears, and consummation comes and jars two hemispheres. Children, I recited the poem for you all. I want you all to recite the way I did and mark all the new words that you find and find the meaning of it. I do not want the meanings that is in the reader. I want you all to write the meanings by going through the internet and searching for the meanings. And this you will write it in your homework book. This is homework number 1 for you all. I repeat, mark the new words and search for the meanings in the net. I do not want the meanings that are in the reader. Alright? Children, I think most of you would have heard what happened to the Titanic ship, isn't it? And most of you would have watched the movie The Titanic Ship as well. But let's see, according to Thomas Hardy, what is the fate of the Titanic ship? I've put up pictures, children. That is, the first one is the iceberg, okay? And the second picture is about the iceberg and the Titanic ship meeting coincidentally, and how the ship sank and the Titanic ship saw its fate. So this is a picture. Hope you all like the picture. Now let's see what Thomas Hardy says. Now he begins imagining where the Titanic ship is now. It's isolated deep beneath the ocean, far from the rich, self-indulgent passengers who sailed on her, that is, her over here is the Titanic ship, and the ambitious and overconfident engineers who built her. The ship now lies motionless. Through the steel-plated boiler rooms, where the fires once burned that powdered the ship, and water now flow, almost turning the wreck into an instrument that is played by the moving water. He also says, in the wreck are mirrors where glamorous, wealthy passengers were meant to see their reflection. Now, however disgusting, slimy sea worms crawl silently over those mirrors, completely undisturbed by the wreckage and the carnage. Also, you won't believe, in the wreck lie jewels that once belonged to passengers or decorated the ship. These jewels were meant to delight wealthy people who concerned themselves with luxurious material goods. Now they reflect no light and instead lie colorless without any sparkle beneath the dark ocean. Nearby, dark fish with dull eyes look at the wreck and the fine material that once covered its exterior surfaces, as if they are asking themselves, what is the self-indulgent luxury doing at the bottom of the ocean? The answer is that while people were building a ship that was meant to effortlessly pierce the sea waves as it sailed, something else was also taking action, a supernatural power like God or fate that set in motion and directs everything that happens. As the builders were making their impressive ship greater in size, capacity and beauty, the iceberg also far away was growing silently larger. So this is the iceberg, children. So this will not be seen because it keeps growing and growing, and they will not notice that there is an iceberg. Alright. The ship and the iceberg would have seemed completely unrelated to anyone watching. No human observers could have anticipated how their future would ultimately come to be closely intertwined. So nobody thought that while the ship is going, it will hit the iceberg and their end will come. Likewise, no human observers could find any clue that the path of the iceberg and the path of the ship would ultimately cross, making them two equal participants in a single awe-inspiring occurrence. People only realized what would happen when the supernatural power who determines how long each human life will last decreed that the ship and the iceberg would meet at this moment. Both the ship and the iceberg obeyed the decree, coming together in a conclusion that was both outcome of the earlier chain of events and the most fitting and perfect conclusion to the ship's career. The physical shock shook the ship and the iceberg, the two halves that made up the whole event, and emotionally shook the two halves of the planet, shocking the entire world. Very sad, isn't it? Did you all understand anything? No? It's nothing, children. The poet describes how the engineers built the ship with lot of confidence, and lot of wealthy people who travelled in that ship, okay, they never knew what their fate was. Only the luxurious people were travelling, and with all jewels they were all enjoying, but they never knew that there would be an iceberg, and coincidentally the ship will collide and it will be broken and the ship gets sunk and most of the people die. This is one of the tragic event ever happened. Yeah? Did you like the pictures? Did you all understand the history of the Titanic ship? Let's look at some synonyms today. Stature, capacity, iceberg, unbiased, alien, exotic, mortal, terrible, intimate, affectionate, coincident, change, anon, soon. This is a slide that I like the most, children. Y'all know why? Because I like asking questions. Are you all ready? Do you have a pen and a paper handy to jot on the questions? Okay, here's your first question. The first one is, where was Thomas Hardy born? Where was Thomas Hardy born? Second one, what is Thomas Hardy's father's occupation? What is Thomas Hardy's father's occupation? The third one, at what age did Thomas Hardy go to school? At what age did Thomas Hardy go to school? The fourth one, according to the poet, what does he tell about the Titanic ship? According to the poet, what does he tell about the Titanic ship? And the last one is, how many people died in the ship and where did the incident happen? How many people died in the ship and where did the incident happen? I'm waiting for your answers, and let me see who will be the first one to get all the answers correct. And if you do so, you know what you will get. You will be appreciated in the group. And I want most of y'all answering, not just one or two or the same child again and again sending me answers. I want y'all to put that little effort and send in your answers. Alright? All the best, children. Now let's quickly summarize all what we learned today. We did start off with the poem, which is The Convergence of the Twain. We did also learn the biography of Thomas Hardy, and I recited the poem for you all. I explained the poem for you all with pictures. We looked into some synonyms, and I've also asked you all questions for which I'm waiting for the answers. Very clear, children? Hope you all have understood the poem, and if you all have not understood, please go through the recording again and again, children. It's nothing but only about the Titanic ship that sunk. Alright? And now comes the last part of your slide, which is your assignment. Now for your classwork, children, I will be sending summary of the poem via WhatsApp. You will have to write that neatly in your class workbook the way I did. Please see that you write the date, you write the heading, underline it, and please write neatly and clearly. Alright, that is for your classwork. Now for your homework, on page number 104, you will answer the following questions in your homework book. You will answer the following questions in your homework book. Write the heading neatly and then answer question number 3, 5, 7 and 10. Answer question number 3, 5, 7 and 10 in your homework book. I have already given another homework, which is your glossaries, which you will have to find it via the internet and write the glossary. Alright, so two homeworks I have given, which should be written in your homework book. And children, coming Monday you will have Zoom classes. Okay, we will connect with each other via Zoom. Few important guidelines. Before you enter the class, please see that you all put in your name in the participant list, number 1. And if at all you are in your hometown, please see that you seek my permission to wear colored dress. Otherwise, I want you all to be in uniform. Clear? And the girls, if you are wearing a uniform, you have to nicely plait your hair as well. Please see that you comb your hair properly. Do not do any hairstyle apart from what is supposed to be done. You all sit in the class with hair in the front, and I see most of the girls, your hand is only on the hair. Not acceptable, children. Please don't get distracted. If you are wearing uniform, please see that you comb your hair neatly and sit. And if you are wearing colored dress, please seek my permission and then wear colored dress. And the boys, please comb your hair neatly, children. Don't spike your hair and sit. It really looks odd. And very important, please, I request the parents not to disturb the children while they are in the Zoom class, because I see parents entering and there are small children making noise. Please avoid that. And one more very important thing, children, while you are in Zoom class, see that you all sit in a place where the TV is not there, because you all on the TV, I can only listen to music or sometimes the serials going on. Avoid all this, children, because it will only distract you and me. Okay, so let's connect via Zoom Monday. Please see that you all have your grammar books with you and your English reader with you. And before you sit in the class, I want you all to read everything well and then sit. When I'm asking questions, you're supposed to answer. If you all are not answering, then we will stop the Zoom class for you all. Very clear, children? Alright? So, until we meet in the next session, this is Ma'am Anna signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.